Moving on, outside of India, back down into the southern hemisphere. Little
T20.
Yeah, T20 series, 5-game series over there in New Zealand between Australia and New Zealand. Australia's ranked 2 and New Zealand's ranked 6th. Oh, as Jack Leach nearly gets the 5 for it. It's Leach and Root going for this last wicket here with Bumrah and Ishant at the crease. I don't know how these rankings work from the ICC. If anyone can explain them to me, I'd love to know about it. I don't think it's a fair reflection that Australia being 2 and New Zealand being 6.
I'd say it's because Australia's probably played more T20 internationals recently than New Zealand has.
Yeah, they shouldn't they just do like off the last 10 games or the last 15 games? Like, who cares about the time period?
Well, I think you probably alluded to it. It's of the last, say, 12 months, they go, well, they've played this and they've won and who their competition is, blah, 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 etc. to work out how it all fits together. But
very reminiscent of FIFA rankings. I think, sometimes you see, Australia's playing this team that's ranked 30, they probably stink, and then they go out and get bloody demolished by some European team. That
it's usually an Eastern European team.
Yeah, that just plays
still good.
That just plays harder opposition. So no idea how these rankings work. The teams for this first game, we'll quickly run through both sides. Matt Wade, Aaron Finch, captain. Josh Phillippe makes his debut after a stellar Big Bash. Mitch Marsh, Glenn Maxwell, Marcus Stoinis, Ashton Agar, Daniel Sims, the Richardsons, Jai and Kame, and Adam Zampar. I think I just did a little bit of digging on the Esky archive from a few weeks ago. We saw that squad. We tried to name the team. We got 9 out of 11.
It's not bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah. We did forget about the 2020 player of last year, Ashton Agar.
Yes, I did see this. I was like, oh yeah, Agar's in this team.
Yeah, we had maybe Andrew Ty ahead of him, maybe Riley Meredith, who just got paid in the Big Bash.
Where they're playing Aston more as for his batting prowess as well versus someone like Andrew Ty, who probably competes with the Richardsons for that.
Indeed, yeah. Ty's going to be batting 10 or 11, where Ashton can bat 7 or 8. And we also thought Ben McDermott might get a start. This was arming and ahhing anyway, because I had Mitch Marsh possibly in there. So we're bloody close. So we've done well. Maybe the selectors have been listening to the podcast. Shout out to
They need some help.
They went close today. We'll get to that in a second. New Zealand went Martin Guptill, Tim Seifert, Kane Williamson, Devon Conway and Glenn Phillips, James Neesham, Mitchell Santner, Cole Jamieson, who just got that big IPL contract, Tim Southey, Ish Sodhi, Trent Bolt. The New Zealand side, Ross Taylor misses out. He's getting a little bit old. I think he doesn't strike the ball as well and score as quickly as he used to. I'd be surprised if he plays 2020 cricket again. India are all done. Perhaps there's a review.
It looks pretty plum. It's just whether he's nicked it first.
Yeah,
this is Bumrah facing
Leach. So Leach going for the 5. We'll have a look at that in a second.
We want Joe Root to get a 5.
Yeah, I would love to see Joe Root get a 5. Ross Taylor, I think maybe 2020 career over. Yes. Colin Munro, I was thinking, why the hell is he not playing? Is he injured? He's over in Pakistan. He's about to play in the PSL. Oh, and he's hit it. He's hit it.
Lot of bat.
Yeah, so this game will continue. Joe Root could get that Michelle Pfeiffer.
Man, how did he miss that one?
Yeah, I don't know. He smashed that like a big deviation as well. Boomer's done well to review that straight away. Obviously not out. That's where Colin Munro is, over in Pakistan, doing a bit of a West Indian cricketer, if you would, chasing that dough.
Yep.
Do you guys see the kit in the last 2 games? The New Zealand's wearing.
I just can't picture it.
It's like
a gold
beige.
Sort of,
it's like a throwback sort of.
Very classic.
Nearly like their 80s kit, sort of. And then with the black pants. And
back in the days for the underarm?
Yeah, around about those Trevor Chappell sort of days.
I wonder if that's he was like, fuck you, Australian.
I doubt it, because we had been wearing that throwback one as well, and India's been wearing their throwback, so I think it's
everyone loves the throwbacks, the classics.
That's right. Fashion goes around and around, doesn't it?
Yes.
Which is why it's bloody stupid. But,
we're not a fashion show, so we'll keep going.
Oh yeah, well, look at us. If this is a fashion show,
what are you talking about?
Anyways,
I look all right from far away.
Very far away.
Anyways, I digress. So that's the sides. Finchy wins the toss and elects to bowl at Hagley.
So we're talking game 1.
Game 1, that is. So a couple of days, Monday it was, at Hagley Oval there in Christchurch. Beautiful ground. there's
I think all the New Zealand grounds look
I like
picturesque, and
they look like a great Sydney first grade ground. All of them pretty much, other than Auckland and Wellington.
Yeah. You can expect to see some hobbits bouncing across.
Yeah, pretty much, pretty much. But it does hold nearly 18,000 there. But it's nearly all it's all hill.
Yeah.
There's like a stand which holds maybe a couple thousand, and then the rest is just grass hill.
Nice.
And the bloke on the right on done it nice as well. Just cut like a nice little wagon wheel into it. And it's getting, the little bit of lawn porn juices going for me. Martin Guptill, he was in really bad form. He only had 150 from his previous 18 T20 internationals. Ooh. He got a duck slashing Daniel Sands to backward point. Averaging about 16 until something happened today. We'll get to that in a second.
We'll get to that.
Zampa comes in the second over. We're talking about leggies in T20s and how good they can be. He only goes for 2. Mm-hmm. And then Jai Richardson bowls this beautiful in-swinging Yorker to get Tim Seifert. New Zealand were 3 for 19, I believe, at that stage. Enter Devon Conway, and it wasn't many roses left. So he's only in his 7th 2020 for New Zealand. He's one of these guys that's South African born and raised. He started playing in New Zealand in 2018. So he's not like Marnus, where he left as a youngster.
Grew up.
He's South African. Yes. And you listen to him talk in the post-match, and he's just got that thick sort of South African accent.
Kevin Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson-esque. and we will get to that in a second about how good South Africa possibly could be. If they were able to retain their players.
Yeah.
So New Zealand's 3 for 19 off the first 4 overs. Devon Conway and another South African guy, South African youngster. I think he was about 10 or something, maybe a little bit younger when he came across. They steadied the ship, about a 64-run partnership. Mm-hmm. And then Conway's hitting at the death. Unbelievable. The Aussie bowling was a little bit questionable.
They went for, 30 off the last 2?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I know off so they were 3 for 67 off their first 10, and then they made 184. So that's 117 off the last 10 overs. So they're going nearly 12 and over off the last 10, and they were definitely getting aided by some pretty poor death bowling from the Aussies. Conway finishes 99 not out. He didn't really look close in the last over, and then he went like 6, 4, and then the last ball he just needed 2 or more, and he just got the single. Yeah, so he's denied the 100. There's only 4 Kiwis that have ever scored a T20 ton. That man Colin Munro's over in Pakistan. He's got 3. Brendan McCullum's got 2. Martin Guptill has 2. He went very close today to getting his 3rd. And Glenn Phillips has 1, so he could have joined an illustrious crew there. Mm-hmm. Nevertheless, amazing knock and really set the scene for New Zealand to win this game quite comfortably, which they did. Australia, they got skittled for 131, didn't even make 18 overs. Yep. Probably the biggest point, I suppose, was Aaron Finch's poor form. He's dismissed for 1. He averaged 13 in the Big Bash. And
well done, 5 for Root.
Joe Root has a Michelle Pfeiffer. India looks to be all done and dusted at 145.
They'll probably review this just because they've got
you've got one.
You might as well.
I think this is pretty plumb. He's taken a massive swing at this and missed it all, and is hitting the legs, probably hitting middle.
Middle of middle?
Yeah, middle of middle.
Best
OS. It's not out till it's out.
We'll have a look at that in a second. Outside of that, none of the Aussies really made too many runs. This is hit halfway up his back thigh. I reckon this is crashing into leg stump.
Yeah.
Another sort of wayward shot, looking for that big sort of slog sweep here from Jasprit Bumrah. I reckon this is getting 3/4 of the way up leg.
Taking one look at it. He's like, they'll just see if it's bouncing over.
And also, does it pitch outside leg? No, that's pitching on middle.
Yeah. Just height and out.
3/4 of the way up leg. Thank you, umpire Pippi. India dismissed 145. They'll have a 33-run lead. So evenly poised test match, really.
Very close.
And
England to come out very
20 wickets fall before lunch on day 2.
How far away are they from lunch? Maybe they'll take lunch now.
They may. So lunch should be due in 15 minutes. I think they're just discussing it now.
Yeah. It's like, I think they said, we'll take lunch.
Okay, so it looks like they're going
They
to
probably don't want to bat for 15 and then come in for lunch. So
Well, yeah, it wouldn't even be that long with the innings changer. It would just be a couple overs.
Yeah.
So they're going to go to lunch. India 33, lead by 33, I should say. Ish Sodhi, he's Indian-born spinner for New Zealand. He finished with 4 for 28 in that first 2020. Cleaned up the middle order. New Zealand win that comfortably by 53 runs and take a 1-0 lead in the series.
Do you want to cover game 2?
Yeah.
Before we talk about this?
Yes. So today we had game 2 at another little suburban cricket ground there down at the University Oval.
This was a much better game than the first one, but like you
much better.
Like you say, small oval, so they could score runs.
Dude, small is an understatement. the Sunday Social Park cricket ground that I play on is bigger than this University Oval at Dunedin. It's pretty crazy, the dimensions of this thing.
Yeah.
And the capacity as well is only about 4,000 or 5,000, so you get that really quaint kind of feel about it. And the scores reflected it. So New Zealand made 7 for 219 today. It at one stage looked like it could have been maybe 230 or 240.
They were doing it easy and they had a few wickets fall towards the end.
Yeah.
Credit the Australian bowling. They needed to take some wickets because they were in trouble.
Yeah, and the death bowling was a little bit better. The last over was expensive, but both Richardsons did a fair job at the death. Before that, Martin Guptill went off and absolutely teed off. He had 97 off 50 deliveries. He's found a little bit of form in that knock. He found Stoinis at long off to miss out on his third 2020 ton. 131 run partnership with Kane Williamson. He had 53 off 35.
Bulk of the runs for New Zealand. So, great partnership for them.
Indeed. And some really handy hitting from Jimmy Neesham. He had 45 of just 16, nearly striking at 300.
I think he came out in his first... within his first 4 balls, I think he hit 3 sixes.
Yeah. He was just on straight away. And I don't know if you guys saw, he went to play like a reverse...
I've seen this, yeah.
Reverse shot off...
No, well, didn't he try to do a ramp shot?
So it looked...
And then realise, they've bowled it on the other side, so I'm going to do a reverse ramp shot.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell's going on. All I know is this was taking my leg peg or wherever it was going. So he looks like he's leaning forward like he wants to play some sort of reverse. Then the ball's gone on the other side. So he's sort of like reverse ramped it and hit it over third man, if you will, rather than fine leg or over the keeper for 6. Yeah. Like, that's just cheating.
Yeah.
That's
just helping it on its way.
Oh, unbelievable shot and an excellent knock there from Jimmy Neesham. Gets New Zealand through to 219. The death bowling was a little bit better. Probably still could be a little bit better even from today. Kane Richardson, the best of the Aussie bowlers with 3 for 43 off his 4. Sean, do you want to talk about it?
Yeah. Our boy Finchy.
Finch makes 12 today.
Well, what did I say? I said I thought he'd get out for under 10.
Pretty bloody close.
And you're like, oh no, I'll take the overs. I think he'll get more than that. Gets 12 from 14. So wasted 14 balls.
I didn't necessarily take the overs either. I said I backed him in to bank a big score. So
true. Not a big score,
technically we were both wrong. Josh Philippe, lovely to see him make a handy 45 in his
good, of course.
second game. Yeah, coming off a stellar Big Bash season. And then Ashton Agar and Mitch Marsh, both golden ducks from Mitchell Santner. Australia in absolute licorice.
Australia
all
lost
sorts.
3 wickets for 4 balls, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah. So not a great middle section.
They were 6 for 113. I just about turned it off. I thought,
we're done.
Then Marcus Stoinis and Daniel Sams put on
the big man.
Excellent partnership, getting Australia so close but so far. With about 3 overs to go, they looked like they should have won this game just about.
They're on track. They're definitely on track.
Mind you, Stoinis and Sams are both striking at about 300, just batting like absolute animals.
Just going after it.
Yeah, Stoinis was punishing everything except the low fullies, the ones that normally eat for breakfast. That was the ones that he was struggling to put away. And there were some inconsistencies in the wides, I thought as well.
Okay.
I don't think it change the outcome of the game because it happened to both sides. There's some of them you're looking at and you're going, that's wide, nothing called. Then there's some you're going, oh, that's borderline wide.
Were they hitting the wides? Because sometimes they let them go for the wides if they get a bat on it.
Oh no! If you hit it, it's not a wide.
Yeah.
So, but there is something that happens now with the way. So if you sort of move towards, say the bowler's going for a wide Yorker outside off, right? But you've moved across. You're off
2 feet
a little bit.
Steve's missed it off.
A little bit, and then it goes 150 mil outside the line. They won't call it because you've made the bowler go out there.
Yeah, the ref's taken the 2 kind of points he said for this is where I consider wide, and you've moved, so I've moved those points with you.
Yeah,
so it's still within the realm of where the I would technically call a wide.
So, and it makes it very hard to adjudicate.
Yes.
I don't think it changed the outcome of the game, but it is a little bit frustrating to watch it happen. And the other thing, I should say what happened. Australia just was so close and so far, but so far.
Well, I think Steinis he had to hit 3 sixes from the last 3 balls to win it.
Well, I think it was wicket.1 or something on the first 3 of that over from that man Jimmy Neesham. And he'd come in and was bowling his first over of the game because they didn't want to go with the spinner Ish Shodhi. So hats off to him. Really great game from him.
So Steinis hit 6.
4.
Well,
sorry, six, and then got
a ball he probably should have put away for a 6.
Yes.
Mishit it. It's gone straight up. He's out.
Says us boys who would have struggled to get our back to the ball, but it was
Australia's hopes and dreams died with that ball.
Indeed. Well, they lost the game. They lost the game on that ball. It was that
was it. They had to hit
in the slot, and I tell you what, the size of these grounds. That nearly went to the rope, and it was a rank top edge. Like it barely would be clearing the inside rope at the MCG.
Yeah.
It's crazy the difference between different cricket ovals around the world. So Australia go down in the second game here. New Zealand take a commanding 2-zip lead in a 5-game series. The last thing about the ground I noticed. Obviously, relatively easy to hit boundaries due to the small field.
How many sixes do they hit in this?
30 plus? Can you have a look? We'll be close. I don't think it'd be 30. That's a fuckload of sixes, but it'd be a lot.
I'll let Monkey figure that out.
Have a look at that for us if you don't mind, Jim.
He's doing quick math over there.
The thing that I noticed,
the numbers,
very, very, very hard to run 2s. Because
it's so small. There's no space.
There's no space.
It's either you drop it down for 1 and hopefully get it, or you
launch one.
You're hitting boundaries.
Yeah. So that was an interesting thing. If you don't get onto it, then the fielding team's really on top there.
Yep.
31 sixes in total.
That's crazy.
30 plus. Yeah,
Australia got
mental.
Australia got 13. And then New Zealand got the rest.
So what's that? What do quick math? 31,
18, 14.
31 times 6.
31 times 6.
Yeah.
186.
So 186 from 400 runs, roughly.
Yeah.
Was sixes.
Yeah, so
almost half of some sixes.
Nearly half the runs from sixes.
Crazy.
That's some pretty good quick maths. It's obviously not our strong point here. Maybe we'll have to bring it back.
We'll have to rewind that and make sure it's all right.
We'll get the calculators out later and check and make sure we're right.
Something we are good at doing on this show is criticising guys that are much better than us at sport. And that leads us into my question for you, Sean. Is Aaron Finch in danger of being dropped despite having the captaincy based on his form?
Mm-hmm. Well,
what's your thoughts?
We'll run through your why not, and I'll give you a rebuttal on that.
Okay. I'm going to say no. He shouldn't be, and it shouldn't even be in the discussion. Obviously, he's in poor form. Every cricketer goes through poor form.
Very poor form.
Virat Kohli, as we're saying, he hasn't got an international 100 for 34.
But he's hit 50s.
He has hit 50s. But are you going to drop him because he hasn't hit 100 for 34 innings? Mm-hmm. Aaron Finch is the second highest Australian T20 run scorer of all time, behind David Warner.
Last decade.
He averages 38. He strikes over 150. He's got the highest T20 international score ever, 172. It was against Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
But that's ridiculous in a T20. That's a good score in a match, let alone one bloke getting it. He's also got the third highest ever score, 156 against England in 2013. His last 3 2020 international bats, I get you. 12-1 duck. Nothing to write home about.
Mm-hmm.
And his big bash, let's say mediocre would be...
average 13.
mediocre would be generous. Let's say that.
I don't think it's generous.
Before that, okay, I want to run you through his scores.
Any from this decade?
Yeah, so this is all this year and last year. His scores here: 35 against India, Monaco Oval; 39 England in England; 46 England in England; 55 South Africa in South Africa. Like they're all good knocks. And that's all this year.
Are they 2020?
2020 internationals.
Yeah, that's last year. But
It's in the last 12 months.
So I think they all happened in the start of last year, before, of course, COVID and all that stuff. So it's been 12 months since he's kind of had a decent bat. I think...
No, two of those games were against India here in Australia.
Yes. Yep, September. Sorry, September.
And look, that's not 39-35. They're not big scores.
Not huge scores, but that's in considering T20 for a start. That's like a good start. I guess it depends on how many balls faced. If he's
chewing up balls,
his strike rate. If his strike rate is high, then it probably is not a big issue.
I can probably tell you here.
T20's 150 odd.
Over his career, which is unbelievable. Yeah. So that 35 at Monaco Oval was off 26. That's striking at 135.
Not bad.
That's not bad. What was this 39 here? 39 off 26, striking at 150. Like, obviously the bloke's in shit form. I'm not arguing that. He's the Australian T20 captain. I don't think he should even be considered being dropped on this bad form. If we're having this conversation in 6 months, okay, then maybe you start talking about it.
Yep. So
have you got a counter?
My thought is I think he needs a kick in the bum. I'm not saying drop him. You got a 5 series test. Maybe sit him for the next one.
Yeah,
because you think about it, you've got Ben McDermott, and you've got Darcy Short sitting there.
Yeah, waiting, raring
to go. Like Ben McDermott was third highest scorer in the BPL. Or he was top 3.
He was definitely top 5.
He was up there.
I think it went Hales and Philippi were 1 and 2. Yeah. McDermott was up there.
Darcy Short didn't have the greatest of big bashes, but he was better than Finch.
Yes, undoubtedly better than Finch, and was one of the highest scorers in the Big Bash 9, the one before that.
Yes. So I know you've got, looking at the list of batters, they're the two that I'd look that you possibly replace. I think Ben McDermott probably makes the most sense, or either or, because they both play with Wade. So you've got that opening partnership for the Hobart Hurricanes. So I could see why. I just think he's in a slump. Can you find out how old Finch is? Well, I don't think he's past it.
No.
He is, of course, probably getting a little bit long in the tooth.
Twilight,
yeah.
34 years old.
Yeah,
34. So you could still have 3-4 years left there.
Exactly. So
3 or 4 good years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I just wonder if throughout this, maybe he's got too comfortable.
Yeah, possibly.
With his spot, like he's the captain, he retains it. The innings he played today, 12 for 14. I probably would have liked it. If you're going to get 12, make it off 6 and get out early.
But save a few of those balls. You're opening as well. You want to eat up a couple possibly at the start. Sure. It's a different story if you're batting 5 or 6.
I agree. But he needs to make scores. He hasn't scored. The Renegades were bottom of the league because of Aaron Finch.
Not solely.
Not solely,
but
he's the core of that team.
He was the captain, opening batsman, most experienced guy.
Which is my kind of issue or problem with it, because he's setting the tone. He's not setting the tone. Didn't for the Renegades. Is not doing it for Australia. We need someone like Sinus to come out and just have an absolute blinder with his Sams to even get us close in the conversation.
Yeah.
Otherwise...
And it wasn't all on Finch today. There was a lot of guys out there. Mitch Marsh, Ashton Agar. Wade didn't make a lot of runs. It's
Maxwell didn't make a lot of runs either.
Yeah, it's not all
I think
on
Wade was probably third highest scorer in the end after all this.
What did Wade have? 20-odd today? 24?
24, yeah.
Yeah, 24. But I'm not saying drop him. There's a big squad. You need to win games. Do you
change up the order then?
Yeah, well, do you move him down one and you bat him 3 and you move Philippi up into 2 as an option?
Yeah, maybe.
See how that works.
Here's something we haven't considered yet.
Yeah, go.
David Warner, Steve Smith, both not in this squad.
There's also that. If we're talking World Cup team, it's different again. So,
and then that swings the argument back in your favour. If they are available, then there's no you can't even. Yeah, there's no argument that says on form Finch should be in that side. You're trying to keep him there on what he's done.
We had this argument a couple of weeks ago that all the batters, the 8 guys, well the 5 to 6 guys they had to play in those top 3 to 4 spots, he was the last on the list on form because the others had all batted pretty well throughout the Big Bash.
Yep.
So he's already, that's why we're talking about it, because he's already in that spot. He hasn't made a big score. I think it's coach-wise. Who's coaching the T20? Is it Ricky?
I think it's Ricky, yeah.
Yeah, does Ricky...
have a look at that.
Ricky went through his form slumps, of course.
All cricketers do. All cricketers do.
Well, we talked about last week
Steve Smith, everyone was calling for his bloody head few, in the test matches, hadn't scored a test ton for 16 months or whatever.
But we also talked last week that, no Australian cricketer has ever not been dropped. I'm not saying drop him, but maybe I'd sit him and just... maybe this next match.
But then what kind of message does that send saying we don't have faith in you, Well,
it's maybe not faith, but it's just we value winning, we value form. The guys that are hitting, that have form, they're in the team. Take that whole Indian mentality. You're picked as a batter. You're not scoring runs. Out you go. We've got 2 guys ready to go that are raring to go. Bring in one of them and say, hey, we'll throw out, I said it to Macca last week, you throw around the loyalty card a bit. He is the captain. You want to be loyal to him. You've been loyal to him throughout this series. Maybe it's, hey, he plays the next one. If we lose, we've lost the series. So maybe you sit him the last 2, as in to have that kind of call to say, hey, you need to find some form. We're going to just blood some young guys.
Yep.
So maybe that's the way to do it. I would think if they want to win this series, maybe sit him 1, get a guy in there, see if they do anything, and then you're just trying to G him up. You just kick him in the ass and say, hey, if you want to win this squad, you need to bat well. Have a great, get in the nets the next day, smash it out, come raring into, say, the 4th T20 after hopefully we've won at least one, the one in between, and then he goes out and hits almost 100. That's what I want to see him.
Yeah,
I want to see him to react to it. I don't want to, I just think he's just motoring along at the moment, unfortunately.
I like that idea of yours is if we get done in this next one, 3-zip.
Well, I think if we've done 3-zip, it's out of the question. I think they're going to say, Finch, you're done.
And not just him. No, I would never
not dropped, but I think we're going to move you.
If it's 3-zip, I think they say 5 guys go warm in the bench and get your McDermotts, get your Merediths in.
Well, I think if we lose this one, I think probably Wade as well. I'd say McDermott, Philippi probably open. They just go
get some
young
guys
Let's get ready for the next World Cup.
Let's see what you can do. We've already lost a series.
Yep.
But I'm sticking by him. He's been one of the best Australian tennis.
That's my opener.
That's my quarterback. That's my Australian captain. I'm sticking with him. And Finchy, don't let me down in this 3rd game. Go out there and score a ton and shut everyone up. Look at Guptill. Guptill was in horrendous form, and the way that he was hitting the ball today,
just got to hit his way out of it. Yeah,
even though it wasn't an under 12s Division 2 oval, the way he was hitting the ball so cleanly today, class guys never lose that. They go through form slumps, and when you're out of form, it's the shittest feeling in the world. It's shit being out of form in Sunday social cricket. But I'm sticking by him, and I think it'd be silly to drop him. And I'm sure in 6 months' time we'll be talking about all the runs he's made.
Fingers crossed. Hopefully for Australia.
That concludes that.
Australian, yeah.
It's an interesting discussion.
Yeah, I thought
it's nice to.
Great. Yeah,
we'll agree to disagree. Agree a gentleman's disagreement there.
Well, time will tell. It's good to discuss. The reason it's out there is because of the reasons we outlined. It's worth talking about. It's worth having a look at it, so that when in a couple of months' time when the next series of T20 comes up, the next World Cup's 1 in 2 years.
This year. The T20
Shit,
World Cup.
We want to find guys that can bat and that because that squad's probably going to have a few guys rotate in and out because it's the World Cup's. It's long. Dave Warner, Steve Smith probably going to feature in there at some point, depending on how they probably go in the IPL as well. That series, there's a lot to happen.
Surely they're in that team.
Fingers crossed.